Once again, welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining tonight's masterclass session. Like I mentioned earlier, this is our last in the series of masterclass sessions we've had so far. It's a pleasure to be your host for tonight. I see that our subject matter expert, our guest speaker, is in the building. Quite commendable. She was the first to get into this meeting today. Thank you very much, Ma, for keeping to time. We also respect people's times and we appreciate your punctuality. We believe and hope that the session will go well and there will be no technical glitches. For members of the team and other members on the call, please do well to drop messages in the main house. You know, that's our practice. I don't have to always say that every time. Once you are on the call, the next thing to do is to drop messages in the main house to sensitize other members and let them know that we have started. What that does is that it helps increase the notifications on their phones and they're wondering what's happening, and then they're able to know that, oh, they are meant to be in a session. So in the next 1 minute, I would appreciate that we drop messages. Let me see. I'm not seeing any messages in the main house. Please do well to drop a message. At least if I think we are about 7 here. If each of us drop messages, that would notify other members. Please do that, so that our guest speaker will have quite a large audience to impact the knowledge she has for us and we can benefit from it. Thank you very much. So while that is being done, I'll just do an introduction of our guest. Our guest is no other than Mrs. Comfort Modi. And who is Mrs. Comfort Modi? Miss Comfort Modi is the founder of the Flaming Lamp Media, which is a startup communication and media firm helping individuals, businesses, and brands utilize the power of public speaking, branding, and effective communication strategies for more visibility, impact, influence, and profit. She has trained over 1,500 students within Nigeria, the US, including 2 Harvard graduates, and has worked as a trainer and facilitator for some NGOs, Silverbird Group, Smile Planet, Institute of Management London, Boltzmann Consulting Firm, to mention a few. And she has taught customer service experience, organizational communication, public speaking, content strategy to employees and C-level executives. Aside leading the team to success and working with many great startups and brands, she's an excellent fiction and ghostwriter and also a creative writer. She's also a professional MC with about 5 years of experience moderating panel sessions, emceeing presidential, corporate, industry events, and trainings. And she has worked with brands and individuals to ensure the success of their events as an MC, with some prominent figures like Apostle Femi Lazarus of the Light Nation, Chioma Ifeanyi Eze, I think of Accounting Hub, Salem King, who is a content creator, Emeka Nobis, business expert, Dr. Sam Avad, YBB, I've forgotten what that abbreviation stands for, Mr. Benga Tutoyi, who is an HR consultant and practitioner, woman consulting practitioner. She loves Jesus wholeheartedly and she loves to create content around all that she does as an individual while promoting the Flaming Lamb Media. So, members, guests in the house, with a rounding or sounding round of applause, let's welcome Mrs. Comfort rather, Modi, as she takes the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. um, I'd like to know if I'm audible enough. Please, if
Loud
you
and
can
clear,
hear
man.
me, just
We can hear you loud and clear, please.
all right. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I am super excited to be here. Um, like he said, I love to teach communication because I believe that communication is the crux of everything that we do as humans. No matter what you do, no matter where you're from, communication is very, very, very important. Social media is communication, writing is communication, speaking is communication, and every other thing is communication. So you might be wondering, why am I starting with communication? I'm starting with communication because branding, which I'm supposed to speak about tonight, is also communication. Branding speaks a lot than words. So when we come to communication, we basically have two types of communication. So I'm going to start from there. But before I continue, um, I want you to understand that the greatest businesses that have built their KLT factor, that is the know, like, and trust. Don't worry, you're going to understand as we continue. The greatest businesses that have been able to build the know, like, and trust, and they've also been able to imbibe their products and services and become household names. So you see, some families, they've been using Colgate from the first generation to the second generation to the third generation. Some families use a particular kind of hospital. Some families only eat a particular kind of cereal. It is because those, businesses or organizations that they patronize, and they've been able to sell the idea of that business to their children and their children's children. It all boils down to branding, right? It boils down to branding, and it all goes around how that brand has been able to communicate their distinctiveness. So tonight we are going to be talking about branding beyond aesthetics. So when I say branding beyond aesthetic, I mean branding beyond what you know. Some persons, when they hear branding, the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, a logo, oh, color palette. They're just thinking about everything, logo, colors, painting, having a flyer or a business card or banners and all. But branding goes way beyond aesthetics. If you don't have a logo, will people still buy from you? Like a wonderful host has said, I've had the opportune moment to speak at very, very great events with prominent people. And I would say for a fact that I don't have a business card. I'm not saying anybody should follow me or have that. I'm not trying to say anybody should follow me or do that or do what I do, like not having a business card. But my brand has always spoken for me. There is no event that I speak at, or there is no place that I share my knowledge, either as a facilitator, a keynote speaker, or on a panel, session, that I don't get referrals. I don't get people who say, "Oh, Comfort, you spoke so well, and you were able to impact. Your session was, very, you know, um, conversational, very impactful." This is because there's a kind of brand that I have sold and I keep selling every time I go somewhere to teach, to speak, to moderate, to host, or do whatever it is that I do. So, beyond you saying you have a good office, beyond you saying that your social media is cool and perfect, before you saying that you're spending millions and thousands of naira on, interior decoration, and you're paying somebody to create a brand package for you, those things are very important, right? The main thing I want us to understand that branding is communication. Branding is what people say or think, perceive you to be. Branding is perception, right? That is why a lot of people are spending so much on perception marketing. They want you to see them as something, right? So, we are going to talk about how to build a brand that speaks, a brand that sells, and a brand that scales. Because I believe this is the three pain points. These are the three pain points of every organization. You want your brand to speak for you want your brand to sell, and you want your brand to scale. You can be selling but you're not scaling. You can be selling and you made 3,000 sales this year. Next year you made 3,000 sales next year. You're supposed to be scaling and expanding. That is what your brand should do for you. So we are going to look at 5 parts in this class tonight, in this master class tonight, under branding, right? So before I continue, I'll go over my topic again. Branding beyond aesthetics. How to build a brand that speaks, that sells, and that scales. So the first thing is, what is the truth about branding? I started that slightly when I started speaking. What is the truth about branding? Is branding just about you paying a, brand expert in quotes, or a graphic designer in quotes, to have a particular font style for you? Is branding about, okay, I want to have the best logo, or I want to have the best aesthetics when someone comes to my office? Those things are part of branding, but they should not be the main focus. Now, I want to say something and I want us to give answers. What do you think is unique about Coca-Cola? What do you think is unique about Coca-Cola's advertisement? Can anybody tell me, please? I want us to have like a very, very conversational class. So, what do you think about Coca-Cola's advertisement? It is one drink that has stayed for a long time. So, what do you think about Coca-Cola's style of their advertisement? I believe most of us have seen their advertisement either on TV or on TikTok, or maybe Instagram or YouTube or something. But we know that we've seen their advertisement either on billboards or anywhere. So, what do you think about their kind of marketing, their kind of branding? So, what do you think about it? Can anybody tell me what they think about Coca-Cola's marketing, or how they, advertise what they do or what they sell? Yeah, can anyone tell me, please? So, you permit me to call. I'm going to call names so that this class is interactive. I'm seeing Miss Christina. I don't know if it's a Miss or Mrs. Please pardon me. So, can you tell me what you think about Coca-Cola's advertisement? Yeah, somebody should just say something.
Hello, good evening. And thank you
Yeah,
very much for the lesson this evening. For me, I think Coca-Cola addresses everyone, especially men. Especially men. People, they always advise us that men do not take minerals or soft drinks, sorry. But in all the Coca-Cola's adverts, we always notice that men are the ones taking Coca-Cola. That's what I see anyway. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Max. So, can someone
Good
else
evening, ma'am.
say something about
Good
Coca-Cola?
evening. One thing I noticed about Coca-Cola's advertisement is that they change they change as in they do advertisements like with each short range of time, like they don't stay on the particular advertisement for a very long time. At the same time, they change their bottle, change the bottle, the shape of the bottle, and the branding from time to time, just to appeal to people. You know, when sometimes maybe they feel that when we use something for long, we can get bored. So they try to change their bottles from time to the shape of the bottle from time to time. That's what I've observed about Coca-Cola's advertisement.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I like that everybody is saying
Okay.
different things about Coca-Cola, right?
Can I say
Uh,
something, please?
yes, please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Coca-Cola advertisement is unique in the sense that its consistent association with positive emotions and celebrations,
Hmm.
also a lifestyle approach rather than just focusing on the product itself. So most time you find them doing the advertisement with celebrations, emotions, which is very, very captivating. So I think
Thank
that's one thing about Coca-Cola.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has spoken. And the person that spoke last, I'm sorry I did not get your name. And
Mary
that's just
Obalemi.
thank you so much, ma'am. Like I always say that Coca-Cola likes to sell happiness. So whenever you're watching their advertisements, they make you feel like if you don't take Coca-Cola with your family, you're not going to enjoy that bonding. There's not going to be happy moments. Coca-Cola always believes that they want to build a mindset. It's a psychological thing. So whenever you're thinking of happiness, whenever you're thinking of bonding, whenever you're thinking of lifestyle, you think of Coca-Cola because their adverts, number one, the consistency. Someone said consistency. Yeah, Coca-Cola has millions of customers. People buy millions of bottles of Coca-Cola every single day, but they do not stop with their advertisement. They spend a lot of dollars, millions of dollars on their advertisement. Number two is Coca-Cola believes in being, dynamic, being creative. That's why they change their bottle appearance from time to time. The advertisements are always very captivating. That is the power of branding. How many of us knows what Coca-Cola's logo look like? Many people don't even really remember what Coca-Cola's logo look like. Many people don't even know their color palettes, but they just know that when you see red and black, Coca-Cola. When you see happiness, unique taste, Coca-Cola has always made us believe that no other, bottling company has their recipe. They believe that once you're taking Coca-Cola, you're taking a recipe that is unique, a recipe that no other, bottling company can replicate. They make you to have that sense of exclusivity. That is what Coca-Cola does, and that is branding. They use one aspect of branding which is powerful. They use storytelling to, captivate the audience. All right. So I want to say that you all, I love the fact that everybody was saying different things about Coca-Cola, and that is the same thing that applies to each one of us and our personal business, our businesses and our personal brands. Branding is not just what you think about yourself, it's beyond what you think about yourself. Branding is what people remember, number one, what they feel and what they say about you when you're not in the room. So you need to understand that is why a lot of companies do some background checks. There was a time I was teaching customer service to a tech company, and I was trying to teach them something about, having, when you have an investigative journalist that goes undercover to, you know, read and associate with people that are committing a crime so they can get information and bring them to book. We have that in marketing. We have people who go like investigators. They go to the shop. The owner of the shop will send them to come as a ghost buyer. So when they come there, they see how things are going. They interact with the business on a neutral basis. Some people that own businesses too, they disguise themselves and come to see what other people are saying about their businesses. That is what branding is. So branding is is what people perceive. It's not just what you think you're doing. It's what people perceive about you. So that process where you shape how people perceive you, that process where you shape how people perceive your business, how people perceive your product or service is branding. So you cannot just leave your branding to anybody. You cannot just leave your branding to time and chance. You have to be intentional about what you want people to think of you. And that is where perception marketing comes in. You can make people think of you as somebody who has sold out their courses, as somebody who has a luxury brand, just by being intentional about how you brand yourself. Don't forget that I said that branding is communication. So whenever you are putting on an attire, whenever you are speaking, whatever you're doing, you should ask yourself that this thing I am doing, how would people perceive my brand? So branding is about the feeling, the message, the promise that people associate with you when they hear your name. So if I say something like Nike. When you hear Nike, you believe that, oh, Nike is a very expensive shoe, right? When you hear Dangote, you believe that, oh, Dangote is a very wealthy man. When you hear certain kinds of brands, because over the years, they've been consistent with shaping your perception. I want to give a very vivid example. Now, we have a dog and we have a goat. Why do people think that it's cruel to kill a dog, but it is not cruel to kill a goat? Yeah, it's because of the consistency that society has shaped our minds to believe that, oh, a dog is man's friend. Oh, a dog is more sensible. Who told you cannot train a goat to, you know, think the way a dog would think? Why do you think it is okay to kill a goat? It's okay to even have goat meat at the abattoir and nobody's complaining about it. But then it is right to kill, not it is wrong to kill the dog. It's because of how they've made us to think about dogs as we are growing, right? So it's the same thing about branding. You can build your brand in such a way that people believe that it is only luxury that can come out of you. And one person that has been able to build her brand that way is Vicky James. I so love that lady because she has built a brand about luxury and she embodies that luxury in how she dresses, the kind of content that she creates, in the excellence in her work. She will show you videos of where they pull down an entire dress that they've made when she noticed that there was something in the dress that was not giving excellence. Because if you want to say that you're a luxury brand, people must be able to see excellence from you. So branding is not just about aesthetics, it's not just about logo or having a website. All right, it is about setting the right foundation, how you want people to perceive you when they interact with your brand. So branding is who you are. All right, branding is what who you are. Then marketing is how you get attention. So you know what you are, you know what you want people to perceive. So marketing is putting it out there using the right platforms to make that visibility be drawn to what you do. And I want you to understand that branding is emotional. Branding is emotional. I want to give you one example. There's a particular lady I love very well. I'm not going to mention her name. I'm not somebody that easily has the celebrity crush thing, but I so love that lady because her values align with mine. And she's very beautiful. She's soft spoken, and I love how she carries herself. Her femininity is something that I relate to. So I went to the market one day. I wanted to get a bar soap and I saw her picture on the bar soap. And just seeing her picture on the bar soap was what made me buy the bar soap. And let me tell you something. Why I bought that bar soap is because I love her values. I love her consistency. I love how she shows up on social media. I love the things that she does, like the things she does, right? I just love everything about that woman. And that was what made me to buy that bar soap, because her picture was on the bar soap. It wasn't like I planned to buy that bar soap. And I kept on buying that soap consistently. All right. So branding is you understanding that it is emotional. People would not buy from you even if you are selling the best product if you don't know how to connect emotions to it. People will not buy from you if you don't know how to connect what emotions to it. If I ask you something, sometimes you buy something and you ask yourself, oh, why did I buy this thing that I bought? It is just because the person that was selling it has been able to study you to understand the kind of values that you have, so they sell to you based on your values, connecting it with stories. All right, so you need to understand that as a personal brand, you have to build the KLT factor. People need to know you. And how do they know you? By being consistent. They need to begin to like you. And it's when someone likes you, you know that they can trust you to say they want to part away with their money, right? The reason why a lot of people would rather buy Coca-Cola, I'm going back to Coca-Cola again because it's like a household name. The reason why a lot of people would rather buy Coca-Cola than buy other types of drink is because of, we all said it, Coca-Cola is very consistent with their advertisement every single day, 365 days a week, every year. They always, they always, you know, create content across different platforms and across different borders. They are consistent. That is the first thing you need to understand. That when people begin to see you so much, your brain begins to create a fragment of likability for those people. That when you wake up in the morning, you're already looking forward to seeing that person's advertisement. That's how it is. You're already looking forward to seeing that person's advertisement. You want to see something about that organization because it's enthralling to your brain. Your brain is looking forward to it. And that is how you begin to build an emotion of love and likeness for that brand. That is what Coca-Cola does. So don't say that you've gotten to an extent in your business where you think you don't need to advertise. Some people think that, oh, running Facebook ads and Facebook is going to take my money. No, if you are making 5 million naira every month without running ads, you will make much more than that when you begin to run ads, when you begin to advertise and put yourself out there and be more consistent, right? So why do people choose to buy an iPhone or a Samsung than buying other phones? It's because these two brands are consistent with their content creation, with their advertisement, and these two brands are selling a lifestyle. People believe that once you are holding a Samsung or an iPhone, it means that you are a wealthy person or you have class in the society. So you need to understand that branding is you selling emotions, selling a feeling, selling a perception, and you cannot leave it to chance. You cannot leave it to someone else to do for you. You have to be intentional about what story you want to share so that people can relate to that. All right. So I want to ask one question and I want everybody to type it in the comments. If you're asked to write two things you want your brand to be remembered for, what will you want your brand to be remembered for? So write it in the comments and I'll be looking through. What do you want your brand to be remembered for? Two things that you cannot negotiate. Oh, if they must know my brand for anything, I want my brand to be known for these two things. Can you write it in the comment section? So now let's continue to the second part of this training. What I said, we are going to be looking at the 3 P's of a magnetic brand. What are the 3 P's of a magnetic brand? I would say that the first is positioning, the second is presence, and the third is public speaking. So I'm going to break it down: positioning, presence, and public speaking. Last month was, Women's Month. They were celebrating women all over, and I have not been very consistent online because of certain things that happened around me. But when I got online, I noticed that ALX Africa celebrated me with other 100 women and nominated us as, women that are making change in Africa and in the tech space. I was really surprised because the kind of women that they that they meshed with me are women that I look up to, some of them, like, women that are doing so much in their various fields. And I want to talk about positioning, right? You can be doing a lot of things, consistently showing up, but you are showing up in the wrong place, or you are showing up in the place where your value is not seen. The Bible says something, that a prophet is honored everywhere except his hometown. Sometimes we think that people that know us should be the one to celebrate us. It doesn't really work that way. And that is where I'm going to start to talk about positioning. Positioning is understanding who you really are and what your brand is about. That is the first thing you need to understand about positioning. Who you really are and what your brand is about. For me, my brand is about business communication, customer service experience, communication, all these things I mentioned in under communication anyways, storytelling. I like empowerment for teenagers. I've always desired to teach teenagers between the ages of 15 and 24 how to make their first million. And I've sat down with myself to understand that I am a creative and I want to be in the creative space. So then, after understanding that this is what I want to do, you need to ask yourself, what platforms do I want to show up? And who are the people that I would serve? I already know that I'm going to be serving corporate organizations, because most of the trainings that I've had are for corporate organizations. And where will I find them? I will find a lot of corporate organizations on LinkedIn, on X. I'll find a lot of corporate organizations by going to, industry events. So there are certain questions you need to ask yourself when you want to position yourself for the right people that can pay you for what you're worth, right? You need to first of all get clarity on who you're serving and what your brand is about. You need to also get clarity on where you will find the people that need your services. Sometimes you think that what you're doing is not lucrative. No, it is because people are looking for what you are selling, but you have not shown yourself to them. You've not put yourself in the rooms where these people are and they are willing to pay you millions and millions, right? So you need to also ask yourself that these people that I want to give my product or service to, what transformation do they need? And what transformation can I offer them? What are their problems? What are their pain points? What are the things that are really paining them? What are the things that are troubling them so much that they just want to get rid of this problem? And you need to also ask yourself that, what makes you different? So, for you to be able to get clarity on your positioning, you need to understand your brand clarity triangle. So, let me just explain what the clarity triangle is. It is who, what, and how. I'm trying to be fast so that I can cover everything. This class is something that could take a whole week or 2 weeks to finish, but I want to try to wrap it up tonight. So who, what, and how. So you need to understand who you serve, what problem you solve, and how you solve it differently. We have millions of public speakers, but what makes me different? We have millions of chefs, but what makes your meal different? It could just be how hospitable you are. It could just be how you are able to see the needs of your clients beyond words. What makes you different? All right. How do you solve that indifferently? Who you serve, you need to have a customer avatar, a client avatar. You need to know the demography and the psychological needs of people you want to serve. So, who are the people you want to serve? What is their age? Where do they live? What are their concerns? What is their earning capacity? What are their psychological needs? You need to understand these things. Before any product is created, every organization sits down to understand you and I before they bring out any product. They already created a problem and they create a solution for it. So you need to understand that positioning would help you to win as a brand. It will help you to not just have wasted efforts and continually showing up in the wrong place and not getting the reward for showing up or doing it excellently. You can be showing up excellently but not showing up in the right platform. Then you need to understand the next P is your presence. The next P is your presence. So you need to ask yourself questions like, coming online, are my platforms aligned? So now you need to learn to make sure that if you go on TikTok, somebody wants to look for you on TikTok. For me, my name on TikTok is the Comfort Modi. If you go on LinkedIn, it's Comfort Modi. And my link to my LinkedIn is the Comfort Modi. If you go on Facebook, it's Comfort Modi. Anywhere you go, you're going to see Comfort Modi. My bios are similar, right? My picture all over social media is the same. So if I want to change my picture today, if I go to the studio like I always do to take pictures, I'm going to change it and everything is going to be the same. There has to be consistency with your brand. There has to be consistency. Somebody would search for you on TikTok and not be confused when they see you on another platform. And you're not taking a picture that you use a selfie to take, or you're not using a picture that, is 5 years behind or 10 years behind, that somebody cannot even recognize you. As much as you want to build a brand that helps you to scale, that helps you to sell, you need to understand that you also have a role to play. And one of that role is aligning your platforms. Do you have a personalized hashtag that you use? That when somebody clicks on that hashtag, they can see a lot of things that you've written, even if it's not on your own platform. Are you speaking the same message across all your platforms? Do you repurpose your content? So what does repurposing of content means? It means that whatever I post on Facebook, I will carry that same video and post it on LinkedIn, on TikTok, so that it's a similarity between all of my different accounts, all of my different, platforms on social media, right? Your visuals, do they match your values? Now, when it comes to visuals, that is where perception marketing comes in. If I know that I want to attract clients that will call me to come and train in big organizations, I cannot look like a hopeless person. And I'm speaking to everyone here. When it comes to branding, you must not look like what you're going through. You need to learn to take, pictures that will tell a story, right? My photographer knows that I come to take pictures every 3 months. I come to take pictures. I want to change what I look like, right? And you want to tell a story with your pictures. When you go out for events, do you have a personal videographer? Do you take pictures with people? When I was mentored by Miss Mam Ibuko Awoshika, I took pictures, and that picture, I know what those pictures did for me. When you get into certain rooms, it's not because you want to show yourself. I'm a very private person, but then I understand that the kind of brand I'm trying to sell, some people will not part with their money, not because I am not good enough to share that knowledge, but because they went on my social media platform and they don't think that I have what it takes. They don't think that if they give me 50 million to train their staff, I'm going to run away with their money. My friend lives in Abuja, and he used to tell me that there are certain places you want to go to for certain contracts in Abuja. If you don't come with a particular kind of car, you're not going to get that contract. And that is because people believe that you need to live what you say you are. You need to look like what you say you are. You cannot say a brand that is doing excellent and you want to create content. There are typographical errors in the content you're creating. You don't take your time to proofread, you don't take your time to edit. People are reading your content and they are confused about what you're trying to say. Your visuals must match your values. Then the last P is public speaking. Now, why I say public speaking is I am a public speaker, and by God's grace, I've been able to teach CEOs, C-level executive, a lot of great people in my VIP classes. And one thing that I know is that many of them tell me that comfort. I want to transition. I want to move into, to get more investors, but I've been slowing down because I am not excellent as a public speaker. I'm not an excellent leader who knows how to speak excellently, right? Every single person that you admire, I want you to look inwardly right now. Every single person that you admire, those people are excellent public speakers. Every single person that you admire, it is because of one thing, is because of they know how to speak so well, and they know how to, you know, make you take certain actions, make you feel in a type of way. They know how to make you feel so excited. They know how to make you feel so powerful with words, right? So Public speaking is important because most of the most successful brands that I have seen and I know have a powerful voice behind them. Speaking is, it's going to take you places, right? It builds instant, makes your brand unforgettable, because we as humans, we want to connect to people who know how to express themselves. When I was doing my research while we created our public speaking academy, I did my research. I did some research with, you know checking articles from Forbes and Nairametrics, so many big organizations. And I also did a kind of in-house research. And what I found out is that 7 out of every 10 individual on earth, I'm not just talking about Africans, I'm talking about every single person on earth. If you bring 10 individuals, 7 to 8 of them will be afraid to do public speaking. So that gives us about 75% of the world's population afraid of public speaking. I know the people that have been able to train in my classes, and sometimes I wonder, why are they afraid to do public speaking? And that is why the world celebrates public speakers, because excellent public speakers anyways, because they know it's one thing that is very dreadful to do. So if you are able to speak excellently, right? If you are able to speak excellently, people would do what? Would want to associate with your brand. So you need to understand that you have no excuse to say you cannot speak in public. There is no excuse for it. Your voice must be heard, because nobody can sell your brand. Nothing can sell your brand much more than your voice. You go for an event, you speak, lives are transformed, and people begin to spread the gospel of what you do as an amazing brand, right? So when you speak, you are giving yourself free advertisement, and you begin to attract people to you. When you are chatting with somebody, you cannot trust them as much as when you see them and when you speak with them. All right. So speaking builds instant trust. So let's go to the third part of this training, which is I want to talk about um, public speaking for brand growth. So I want to just quickly teach us about elevator speech. So there is this story that goes about an elevator speech. In Silicon Valley some years back, people who have tech ideas or startup ideas, they used to go to Silicon Valley then to see if there is any angel investor or somebody who would be able to fund their ideas. But the truth is, these investors, you cannot just come to see them without having an appointment with them. They were really, really busy people. So the best way you could see them was getting into the elevator with them before they got into their offices, right? And that was where the origin of the elevator speech came to be. So an elevator speech is something that immediately tells us what you do, who you serve, the results you help people get, and your credibility. In less than 1 to 2 minutes, you're able to sell yourself out as fast as you can. So I want somebody to tell me what they do, anybody that can tell me what they do, so we can try to create an elevator pitch for you right now. It might not be perfect, but you can um work on it later. Anyone?
Please come again.
Okay.
So I'm a podcaster. I do podcasting.
Okay, you do podcasting. All right.
Yeah, so
So
my
let's
focus
let's
is
let's help you get.
I was gonna tell you what the
I'm
podcast is
listening.
about. Yeah, the focus is
Okay.
on sharing experiences of migrant women, their journey, their moving journey to another country, their challenges and their victories. Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to let's try to help you get an elevator pitch. So you're going to tell us what you do, who you serve. So imagine you're speaking to someone who wants to give your podcast show great visibility. So um let's say the person has about 5 million followers, and you meet them somewhere and they're interested in what you do, and if you're able to sell yourself to them in 1 minute, they would invest in your podcast. So let's see how great you're going to do. Whatever you do, I'm going to correct you. So what do you do? Who do you serve? What result do you help people get? And what is your credibility? So your time starts now. What you do, who you
Okay.
serve, the yeah.
Okay. Hi. Nice to meet you. I am Morenike Oladende. Um, I run a podcast, and the podcast is out of my passion to share experiences with migrant women like myself, about their challenges of overcoming those challenges. I started my podcast 4 years ago now. And yeah, I've been able to have up to about over 60 episodes of my podcast, and we've successfully have thousands of views. That is aside the live views when the podcast goes live on two different radio stations here in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm looking forward to partnering with you and doing more for migrant women. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, that's very beautiful. But you did so well, honestly. I love that in 1 minute, I was actually looking at the time. In 1 minute, you were able to tell us what you do, your name, what you do, women. You were able to tell us the people you do, the thing you do. But one thing I did not really get from your elevator pitch was you were not able to tell us the results it gets. So why should I listen to your podcast? Um, if I want to invest in your podcast, what is going to be the benefit for me? So your that's where you tell them your credibility. So this is what you're supposed to do when it comes to the credibility part. You tell them how many people. I know you say you have thousands of followers, but investors like numbers and they like you to be as specific as you can, right? So you want to tell them how many subscribers you have, maybe if it's a podcast that is hosted on YouTube, or what platform you use, or any of the platforms. So you could do a combination of all the followers on your different platforms and say that altogether we have XYZ number of listeners, daily or weekly listeners or subscribers. And then you want to know how fast it is, the podcast, the listening rate, how fast is it growing? So do you start at XYZ? What year exactly did you start? And you started with ABC numbers, but now we've been able to grow our followers or listeners to this particular number. Investors like to hear that because they are all about numbers. Investors are not emotional people. They throw emotions aside because it's their money that is at stake, right? So you want them to believe that, oh, even if we have not gotten there yet, we are smart enough to track our growth. Do you understand me, ma'am? Are you with me? Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Morenke,
Oh, sorry. I just moved away. Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry. Yeah, I heard you. Clear, loud and clear. Yeah, thank you.
So you might, because of time, we might not be able to like properly draft one, but for your elevator pitch, you can go back to it again. You did well, but I want you to include the numbers and let them know what the podcast does for them. I know there are a lot of people that want to migrate. Migration is one business that, till the world comes to an end, is going to keep on selling, right? So when talking to an investor, let them hear the money part of your business. The transformation is there, is good, but they want to see how scalable is that thing that you're talking about. So I host a podcast that empowers migrant women to rise above xyz, maybe cultural challenges, career challenges. By what way? By we share inspiring stories, we share expert advice, we share real life tools that would help them thrive in a new country. All right. So you should be able to work on that and maybe put the numbers. But then when you're done, sit with yourself and ask yourself that, can I say this in 1 to 2 minutes? An elevator pitch should not be more than 2 minutes. It should not be more than 2 minutes. So when you've written all you want to write, try to say it, rehearse it in such a way that if somebody should wake you up from the sleep, you'll be able to say your elevator pitch. So let's look at common branding mistakes. What are some things that people do that makes them to shoot themselves in the feet as people who want to build a brand? The first thing is inconsistency in your messaging. So you're confusing people with what you do. I see a lot of people who they want to jump on every trend. This person divorced his wife. Oh, you have a say. This one happened. Oh, you have a say. Like, if you go on my Facebook or my LinkedIn, before you scroll 1, 2, or 3, you will have a grasp of what I do and who I am, because it is clear in how I write, the kind of things I share. You have to be consistent in your messaging. People should not scroll and be confused that what is this one doing? Is this person selling this, or is this person, I don't really understand. And you need to, if you're on Facebook or anything, make sure that when people are tagging you in any post, it is not showing on your timeline. Because some people, when you go to their timeline, you cannot, you see feeling happy with two people and others is showing on your timeline. At Ekiti State with this and that, 99 others is shown in your timeline. So you cannot stop people from tagging you, because I don't think Facebook allows that. But you can stop the tags from showing on your timeline. So you need to go and learn how to do that. Then another thing is talking to everyone. The truth is, not everybody loves jollof rice. As delicious as jollof rice is, not everybody loves jollof rice. So one mistake I see a lot of people do when it comes to their branding is thinking that their message is for everyone. For me, my message is not for everyone. My message is for people who are struggling with effective communication, people who want to brand their businesses rightly, people who want to learn how to create the right content. They want a strategy to create content that will sell, content that will help them build visibility. My message is not for everyone. You cannot see me on my Facebook or my LinkedIn or any of my other social media platforms doing something that is against my core values or my brand values, right? So you need to understand that there should be clarity of who your audience is. You cannot be for everyone. Your message cannot be from everyone. And then another mistake that people make is they don't use storytelling. They don't use storytelling. They are always writing like robots. Like, there's no story attached to your content type. You just want to keep sharing. Yeah, it's good to share your knowledge, but you need to understand that people connect more to stories. That is why a movie you saw 5 years ago, you still remember. But a class you just had 1 week ago, you don't remember. That's the difference between excellent public speakers and public speakers that are not excellent. You need to learn to infuse storytelling your in your content type. Learn to tell stories, learn to connect people with examples. It could be your story, it could be someone else's story, but just make sure that you are including storytelling in whatever you're doing. Then one thing you need to understand is that you need to have a brand voice and a brand personality. So you can decide to say that I want my brand voice to be bold. I want my brand voice to be authentic. I want my brand voice to be warm and professional. You need to have a brand voice, right? For my own brand voice, people call me a mother hen. Why do they call me a mother hen? Because I have this, it's natural to me. I just want to see everybody win around me. I just, whether or not I know you, when I see that you have an issue that I know that I can solve, I just want to show that love and care. And it is evident in my type of content. When I speak like I'm speaking to my child. Or when I mean my child, I don't mean like I'm looking down on somebody or trying to speak to you in a derogatory manner. No, I speak like I want to see you grow. I want to see you expand. I want to see you thrive. All right, that is how I like to speak. So it boils down to people. Even before I knew about branding, before I started becoming doing branding and all of that, I never knew that people already were seeing me as a mother hen. So sometimes when people meet me, they be like, you behave like a mother hen. And I've heard it from different kinds of people. So you want to ask yourself, what kind of Brand personality. Coca-Cola has a brand personality of happiness. They believe that they are sharing happiness. iPhone has a brand personality of luxury, right? LG has a brand personality of good life. They believe that when you have LG, life will be easy. So each of these brands have been able to sell a narrative to us through their consistency in their messaging. So you need to understand that there must be a personality, a brand voice to you, a brand voice to you. When you have Tonu Elumelu, you believe that, oh, that guy is an entrepreneur, is somebody who is vast in business and all. He has made us to believe that. When you think of a genius comedian in Nigeria, you think of Lai because that guy is a genius, right? So your brand needs to have a voice. It has to have a voice. So it's up to you to decide what voice you want your brand to have, and be intentional with shaping your voice, shaping the brand perception. All right. So the next thing we want to talk about is how to sell through your story. How to sell through your story. One thing I need you to understand is that you must have a story for your brand. You must have a story for your brand. And number one, that story has to be, number one, transition from when you were in a confused state or when you needed help to when you gain clarity, and to when you started helping others to gain clarity. And then in the end, what you started doing for others helped you to gain opportunities, gain clients, to begin to attract a lot of things. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm the first child of my family, and I I used to be extremely shy because of how I was raised. So my mom is Yoruba and my dad is Igbo. And there's this thing about Yorubas, we all know that they really like this tradition of respect. I'm not trying to shade anyone, but we know that is the truth. And as much as I love that culture, there's something it does subconsciously to most Yorubas that I've met, myself inclusive, that it happened to. I believe I'm both Yoruba and Igbo, right? I love the culture because it's a culture that teaches people how to have honor. But then subconsciously, those who don't know how to manage that culture end up grooming their children to lack confidence, to lack the ability to stand up for themselves, to speak up for what is right, and to just live their life fully without having the fear of what people will say and all of that. So that's how I was raised. And I was also, you know, a senior grandchild to many other grandchildren. So I always had this fear of, oh, what do people say about me? I lived in this fear of, what will people say about me? What will people say about me? Oh, what are they thinking about me? So sometimes I want to do something, and that voice of my uncles and aunties, everybody's scolding. I just believe that, oh, this thing I want to do, am I going to get it right? When you already presume that you're going to fail, you're definitely going to fail, because I believe that things are always created twice, first in our minds and first in reality, right? So that was my problem, always having fear because of too many chastisement from people around. And that affected me a lot. I'm a very intelligent person. Like, I know how to do a lot of things and I'm very excellent at what I do. But then excellence cannot sell itself. If you don't do something excellent, nobody will know that you're excellent. So I lost a lot of opportunity when I go out to do auditions or whatever. I will rehearse and rehearse. When I stand before people, I begin to hear those voices, and I would, fail again to pitch myself. And somebody who is not as good as me would come because they are so confident, and they would just pitch and get that stuff. And sometimes they will still come back to me to help them. So it continued like that until sometime in 2021. I had been researching a lot, and God helped me. Holy Spirit helped me, and I was able to come out of that shell. And after coming out of my shell of the fear of public speaking, I started to study more about it, to be more certified and all. And I have been able to help a whole lot of people to come out of the shackle and manacle of the fear of public speaking. And the truth is, I started doing it for free. I used to have classes then that will have 400, 500 people, joining my classes. They were telling me that, Comfort, what you are teaching, I've listened to it in another class that I paid a lot of money for, and I did not get up to that. So it got to a point where I knew that I had to monetize my knowledge in helping organizations, brands, and individuals become excellent in, communication and all. And that was how my story changed. I started getting invitations to universities, to conferences, to come and speak, to come and share my knowledge with, executive CEOs, students, undergraduates, and all. Why am I telling you my story? It starts from somewhere. It starts from understanding that there's a problem somewhere. It might not be you that has that problem. It might be a problem that you see and you want to change, right? So you must always have a story that connects to what you're doing and why you're doing it, because it is that story that would help you to change the narrative and change the world around you. If you want to go to get grants, if you want to win grants, my mentor last year won a grant of 100 million naira because of how well she was able to tell her story, right? And many people that I know, that I have the privilege of being acquainted with, many great people, their stories have been what has been helping them win. And I'm always happy to share my story because it's me building my brand to let people know that I really care about them finding their voice again. Imagine you speaking to somebody in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they are almost crying and saying, Comfort, I don't want to die this way. I don't want to die being shy. I don't want to die without anybody hearing my voice. That is the kind of change that I've been able to make people to make. So if you know that you you want to find your voice, you want to build a powerful brand, you need to have a story. And I've started doing those things that I was doing. I started getting awards, so many awards. People would send me emails, oh, you were nominated for this award, unknown to me, because it's not like that was the reason I started. But once you begin to shine your light, no matter how selfish the world is, they would acknowledge you for being different. So you need to be intentional about your personal brand. What do you want people to know you for? What voice do you want your brand to have? And I need you to understand that aside the whole emotions and everything, you cannot build a powerful brand without you being an exceptional public speaker. So if you know that you are ready to find your voice, if you know that you want to position your brand right, and you want to start showing up with confidence, I would love to help you. I'd love to help you, but I want to do something tonight, which I usually don't like to do. Yes. So we'll still have questions, but before we go to questions, I want to help two people who would reach out to me. I'm going to drop my contact or my email. The first two people, I'm going to have a free strategy call for them, whatever aspect of what I do that they want, just one aspect of what they want me to, help them with strategy for, either for their personal brand or for their business. So I'm going to give you that free strategy call. We're going to have that strategy session. So if you know that you want to find your voice, you want to position your brand, and you want to start showing up with confidence, I want to help as many people that I can help. And I want you to join my public speaking class if you know that you have issues with public speaking. And if you need support, with your organization, or you want to train member of your staff, I'm going to drop my email address and my phone number so you can reach out and learn how to turn your own story, your confidence, and everything into cash flow. All right. So before we end tonight's class, I want anybody that has questions to please ask questions. If you have questions, just indicate if you have questions so that I can answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that amazing session. Um, I see that a couple of hands are raised. And I know some hands were raised earlier, but I'll go with the hands that are raised presently. I have on my list, okay, I think the hand is already raised now. So Sister Ngozi, I saw you raise your hand earlier. Please, can you ask your question? After
Oh,
Sister
hello.
Ngozi, the next person who will go will be Sister Ellen. I don't know who raised hand between Stani and Stamiri, but Stani will go next, and then Stamiri. Thank you. Okay, and then finally, okay, let's take the first three. Thank you. The
Okay.
first, Morenike.
Good day, everyone. I'm still in the afternoon where I am. Good afternoon, good day, good evening, everyone. Really, really impressed. I had to join this section. I don't think I've been joining sections like that in the YC group for a while. I don't frequent the group. But sincerely, I went on the group today and I saw the profile. I was just touched. I'm like, who is this comfort? You know, having this great profile. And I think I went on the profile and I gave a thumbs up. So I decided I was in a meeting with someone. I quickly got off the meeting. I joined. So apologies for joining late. I wanted to join from the start. But I have gleaned so much in the last few minutes that I joined this session. And I'm really, really impressed with it. And now I have a question. Like Sister Morenike said, what she's doing. I don't do a podcast. I'm not presently doing a podcast. But here in Canada that I am, a few years back, 2 years ago, I started a group for the ladies here, immigrant ladies, and basically I started the group as a social awareness group, trying to help immigrant women settle into their new community, trying basically building a community where we support each other to thrive. And having listened, and a lot of people have been telling me, even my husband, register this group, from just being started the group with about 5 people, just encouraging people, helping students, helping women, we are over 74. I'm somewhere, people are asking me, please, I want to join the group. I want to join the group. I'm like, I've actually made it a closed group. But now, listening to the podcast, I'm like, Angie, you can transform this group into something more meaningful and probably gain something from it. So my question is, when you have this kind of community, how do how do I brand the group that I have formed right now that is actually everybody wants to join? How do I convert it into cash, into a cash, milling opportunity for me? Because then again, I mean, a strange line, I actually work as a HR professional here, but there's nothing saying I can't have a side hustle, something that I'm passionate about that gives me some cash on my table. So how do I go about building a brand, that would give me some cash flow that I can have some income from? Thank you. That was my question.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much for your kind words and for the question. So I will just give you something very brief, right? Because we have a lot of persons that want to also ask questions. So the first thing I want you to understand is that many times what we are supposed to use as side hustle is what we are using as our main hustle. I repeat what I said. Many times what you're supposed to use as side hustle is what you are using as your main hustle. So sometimes that thing that you think, oh, you're just taking like a Jessica, is that thing that would blow you up beyond ways that you'd understand. So what I would say, number one, is that when it comes to immigration is very lucrative. A lot of people want to travel, they just want to change the environment, right? For many reasons known to them. From that group, you could create webinars. Yes, you could create webinars. You could have a community manager if you know you don't have the time to um, consistently engage the group. So that's why we have community managers that are trained that can engage the group and do things that are in line with the vision for the group. So let me give you what you could do, strategy that you could do to make that group earn you money, right? You need to spend money to get the money, but you're going to absolutely get the money. So you could have a group that is a free group where you're posting free things, and then you could have another second group where that one is not free. You give them a lot of free things that you know is not going to cost you too much to give them. And then when people want to apply for, more enhanced, they want to get more enhanced information that you know would help them to really travel, you tell them they'll pay XYZ. Or you could monetize the group and say they are going to be paying subscription based. If you're in that community, you are going to pay XYZ amount. You'll be surprised at how much Nigerians and other people want to pay money to travel. So we have subscription based groups for travel like that. Another one is consulting fee. Whenever somebody wants to consult, time is money. When I want to consult for 1 hour, I charge 150,000. That was my past price, right? I charge 150,000. So imagine that in one day you have like um you have like three people that want to consult or two people that want to consult. You can decide to charge them whatever you know is fair for you to charge them, or because you're just starting, right? So if you say I want to collect 10K, I started with 15K for charging for 30 minutes then, and I started to grow, right? So you can start by charging. Don't just allow people to be draining you of your sweat and spittle. Let them pay for giving them first-hand information. Another way is by using those people in that group to expand the group. How? Create free webinars. Tell them to create a flyer. You could reach out if you need a graphic designer, somebody that would help you with a very good design. You tell them to share the design. Like you give like a month's notice or 2 months notice, consistently talk about that design, put it on your social medias, tell those people to repost. If they repost, you are going to get a free webinar. From 74, you can grow that group to 1,000 women or 1,000 people. If those 74 people are posting the flyers, you get a webinar where you share information about whatever it is that they would need. And at the end of that, you upsell to them. You pitch your offers to them. So you can have an offer for consulting, one-on-one consultation. You want to get clarity on how to come to Canada or any other country. Then you can also have one where you help them with writing their SOPs, all those kind of documentation that they need. If they need money if they want to write their SOP, they cannot write it. They want to write XYZ letter. You have somebody that you can work with. It doesn't have to be you, right? Somebody that they can work with, you can work with rather, that will help write the letter, and you charge them for a fee. So you could also work with people that are trusted, that will be giving you more information if it's not just Canada that people want to go to, right? And that is how you begin to expand. As an HR personnel, there's no harm in talking about travel on your social media platforms. You don't need to box yourself. I don't believe in boxing ourselves. I don't believe God created us to have just one gift or just explore just one gift. You can explore all of your gifts, but doing it in an organized manner. So on your social media platform that you are most active, be consistent with creating content about travel. And at the end of almost every content about travel, put the link to your group in the comment section. People will join, and your community manager will do the job. And I can tell you that if you are consistent at it for 3 to 6 months, you might hit 5,000 people on the group. I know a woman on Facebook, Stella Owala. You could go check her out. She has a Facebook group with thousands of people, and that was how she started. I started to expand and collaborate with other people that have connections and all. And she's somebody that is truthful. So whenever you help somebody that is able to travel successfully, let them give you testimonial. Use that testimonial to boost your profile so that people can trust you more, because there are a lot of people that are out there taking money from people because they know that they are hungry to travel and they're not doing the right thing. If people can perceive that you are trustworthy, you're going to get tired of getting clients, honestly. So you can get money from consulting, from paid subscriptions on your profile, from webinars, pitching your webinars. You could run Facebook ads too for your webinars. It's you that know what you want to teach them. From writing the letters that people need to travel, and maybe networking with people that know how to do the visas and all those other things. So these are the ways, just a few ways that you can monetize your knowledge and what you do. That group, you can monetize it and also expand that group. Thank you. I believe I was able to answer your question.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
she's dropped.
Okay. Yeah, you
All right.
did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very
So another
much.
person has.
The next
Thank you,
person is
sir.
Ellen. Ellen, in one, in two. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, my sister, for what you have done for us on this platform. Sorry, I just want to leave this place because of noise around. So my question is, because like me, I'm into singing So, and when you started talking, so I'm like, maybe it's only public speaking you are more into, like, talking more about. So, I wanted to leave because I was thinking, no, this one doesn't go in line with my passion. So, but I decided to leave stayed when you mentioned like a cooking and so on. So then I knew that, okay, it's not only public speaking. So when it comes to singing, so I have been singing for some years and I have thousands of followers. So to the point that I was called by a radio station in US. So though they told me to pay particular money, so I didn't do that because I didn't put my trust in it so much, and there was not enough. I wasn't prepared, towards that. So I wanted to build it on my own, even though I have that, like 5,000 like that. So, but my main issue is, whenever I send the song on that page I created, so it's only maybe 2, 3 people that we comment, or 5, sometimes 10 that we comment. So I was discouraged at some point, even though people are going into it, like following me. So how do I develop myself into this? I know it's not public speaking. So how do I, get myself there more? And should I go with the radio station or still continue? Because I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube.
Okay, all right. So I will just be giving everybody short answers, but if you really want more help, you can reach out to me, like I said. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how consistent are you on your Facebook and your YouTube? How many times in a week do you post content?
Yeah, before I was doing it like 2 times a week.
You see, that's the problem. So social media has gone beyond taking it passively. If you really want to, if you really want to build something massive on social media, like you want to build influence on social media and take it like where you are building your business, like somebody like me, you cannot post 2 times a week, you cannot post 3 times a week if you know you want to really be serious about it. Then another thing is, you need to do a social media audit. So this is a general class, right? So if you maybe you can reach out to me, let's see what we can work together. All right, so I'm going to be giving everybody who reaches out for consulting on their content, and or I'm going to give everybody from this class a 10% discount from our price. So the first thing is, you need to do a social media audit, and you need to understand that sometimes you might have followers, but they are not following you as the right audience. So people are just following you because they don't even know why they followed you in the first place. There are people like that who join the WhatsApp group and they're asking, what is this group for? There are people like that. So maybe the kind of audience that you have that are following you are people who just click any button they see follow. Another thing could be that you are not consistent. Another thing could be your content type. Another thing could be your interaction type with your audience, right? So you can make money online anyhow, legitimately, please, because I said anyhow, don't think it's legitimately. You can make money online regardless the skill that you have. As a singer, I sing too, right? One thing you can do is, it's not every song that you sing that you should monetize. There are sometimes you could just do a cover of a particular music. I don't know the genre of song that you do, right? But you need to understand that sometimes you just do a cover of a particular song and you
Yeah.
put it out there. Yes, you do
Yeah.
that. Another
I
thing is,
sing
you need to
hymn.
understand that. Okay, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I said I do cover songs of hymns and some, traditional, some common ones that people are singing, just to sing it and make it, harmonizing it to touch lives. That's all.
All right. So you could do covers, right? Sometimes you could do a challenge with your song. If you put a song, you could do a challenge with your song, right? Do you understand? So you could do a challenge with your song. Another thing you could do is that from time to time, try to engage your audience. Oh, try to ask them, what kind of music do you like? So that's why I said that you need to do a social media audit and have like a content strategy. So I think it might be having a content problem. It might be a content problem, and it could also be a consistency problem. But there are ways you can earn money from social media as a singer. Number one is by consistency. So you get to a point where you're very consistent and you're putting out videos. You can monetize those videos. So monetization for you, that is one. Number two is you can collaborate with other singers. Maybe those that are just coming up, you can collaborate with them. Number three, you could do challenges for your song, right? Either you do anybody that can sing this song much more than I did, or somebody that can, sing a verse two of this song. The generation that we are in now, they love creativity a lot. So we need to move from the traditional way of doing things. If you want to see results, there are certain things that you just have to tweak and do, not away from your values, but in a way that will give you the results that you seek, right? So that is it. So it's not just about going to the radio. I can tell you for free that there is no radio station in the world, there is no TV station in the world that has more reach than social media. So you should learn to utilize it. So I just think the issue here could be a content issue, a strategy issue, and a consistency issue. So that is what I'm able to decipher from what we've said. But you can definitely make money from the little means that I've given to you. So you can reach out to me. I'm going to drop my email in the comment section, so you can reach out to me and let's see how we can help you with that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So welcome. So any other person?
All right. Thank you. We have Mr. Mary next.
Okay.
Mr. Mary in one, in two, in three. Okay, Mr. Morenike. Mr. Morenike in one,
Yeah,
in
hello.
two. Okay, go ahead, please.
Uh, yeah, hi everyone. Just a quick one because I know time is of essence. When I introduced myself, I said I was a podcaster. So my question is around brand. So I'm a multifaceted person. Like I'm into so many things, and I really, really want to succeed at all those things because, God gave some people 10 talent, 5 talents. So and He wants them to use it all. So how do I succeed with the various brands? Now, I don't want to clash. Well, the little way that I've done this is create a social media presence for each of my brand. So for the podcast, it's a different social media presence. For my food business, it's a different social media presence. And I'm trying not to mix my personal life because I also have commitments in my personal life, my personal brand, with these different aspects. So my question is, how do one single individual succeed with various brands, having different brands and able to succeed with these brands?
Okay, I like this question because you just sold me to me. You just sold me to me. So what do I mean? I'm also a very multifaceted person, and there's one issue with people like us. We always get stuck. Number one, because we don't know what part of us to express to the public. Two, we see people that don't know how to do as much as we can thriving because maybe they just have one or two skills. And number three, we have this fear of not wanting to confuse the audience. Number four, we have this fear of not wanting one part of us to overshadow the other parts, right? So let me just tell you what I did to help me be able to express all my different sides. So the first thing is I sing, right? I write. I'm a storyteller. I used to do voiceovers before, but now my business is what does that. So I'm trying to tell you some of the things I do so you understand where I'm coming from. I have a clothes brand. I make dresses for women and men. I will send some of our dresses out of Nigeria. Um, I know that if you tell me to come and act today, I will be able to do it. So sometimes I wake up to find out that I have a skill that I never knew I had before. right? I'm an MC for events. So one day, it's not one day, the struggle was real for me. Every time I was consistently having this tussle within me, okay, what part of me do I want to express the most? How do I, will I just do one part and throw one part away? Then I found out that I can pick one or two of those things that I do and extend them as branches. The truth is, your cooking that you do is still you. Every other thing that you do is still you. I don't think you have to create anything different. I don't think you have to create different platforms for them, except you are doing them as a business. Do you know the reason why I always like to use Vicky James as an example is, number one, Vicky James started out as a fashion designer. She was able to etch that in the hearts of people. And then she started to express different parts of herself. She began to sing, she began to sing, she began to cook. And I will not be surprised tomorrow if Vicky James says she wants to have a restaurant, because she's already showing us that part of herself. So what I will tell you to do that I did is to sit with yourself, ma'am, and ask yourself that all of these gifts that God has given to you, which of them is the one that you know is like a pillar to others? So for me, mine was public speaking, right? Public speaking. So from public speaking, I was able to do other branches of the things I do. Then you ask yourself, how consistently do I want to show up with each of these skills? So I have a consistency calendar, a content chart, which I had created for myself, and I usually create for clients and organizations that I'm consulting for, right? That may be multifaceted too, like myself. So on Mondays, I have the kind of content that I post, and I have the ratio to which I post these things. So my public speaking is my number one focus. The next is my branding and customer service part of what I do as a personal brand and as a business. So let's say that one, I write about it 30% a week. Then public speaking, I write about it 70% a week. I hope you're understanding. Then every other thing that I do little by little, I show up doing them because I don't want to confuse people about what I do. Then writing, because my business offers ghostwriting services. I write about ghostwriting about 20% a week. Do you understand? And then I told myself that recently, because I don't want people to forget that I sing, that every Sunday I'm going to be putting out content where I am singing or doing something about singing, either a cover of a song or something. Why am I doing this? You see that I'm only singing on Sundays. That is like 10%. Because I want people to know that I have all of these different parts of me. People don't have an issue with you showing different sides of you. They only have an issue when you don't know how to do all those things excellently. That is the only issue that we have. Vicky James is somebody that when she's cooking, she cooks so well. When she's singing, she sings so well. When she's making a dress, she makes a dress so well. So nobody will say, ah, madam, you know even sabi so better cook my face one. No, because everything she's doing it excellently, right? If she sews a dress, she sews it well. If she's singing, she sings well. I'm a member of the city choir, and the person that is our close friend, Shalom, that sang with her a song, Olubejao, he's our city choir director, and that guy can drill you to the core. So he has helped her work on her voice. So when you have a problem, as I'm talking to everyone and myself too, if you have a problem with showing up as a multifaceted person, it's because the other parts of you, you've not developed them so well. So you need to first of all ask yourself, how excellent are you in all of these things that you want to show yourself? And then what is the future plan for you with those skills? Which of them do you want to showcase first? Okay, I want to start with 2 or 3 and be showcasing those ones. What is the ratio with which I'll be showcasing each of these skills? Like I explained, I have my chart. It's boldly written, a very big chart, and I create the same chart for clients that have this issue of want to create this, want to create that. Like organizations that have many products that they produce too, they have this same issue. So I ask them, what is your main product that is giving you the most money or has the most influx of sales? Okay, what other products do you want to begin to introduce little by little to the audience, to your clients? So the first one that is your main product or like your main skill, like public speaking for me, I will show up that one 70%. Then I can show that one up 60%. Then the other ones, I split it and say, okay, I'll talk about public speaking on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll talk about storytelling on Tuesday and Wednesday, branding on Fridays alone. I'll talk about customer service on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'll talk about controversies, something that I just want to talk about. I like to talk about personal development and spirituality, but then I don't want them to forget who I am. So whenever I'm talking about these things, it's because I am doing them excellently. It's why nobody is saying comfort, only you, how many things do you do? So if you know that you want to show up as a multifaceted person, you need to ask yourself, what is the pillar that connects to all of my other skills? There's one skill that's going to be a pillar that connects to all of the other skills. I recently said that I'm going to be singing on Sundays. It was the Holy Spirit that gave me the idea. So when I'm singing at least 4 times a month on Sundays, every Sunday, right, and I'm posting it, when I'm ready to like push out, and you know that people are going to follow you for different versions of you. Some people are following you because they like the way you speak. Some will follow me because of personal branding. Some will follow me because of customer service. Some will follow me because I'm simple. Do you understand? And as they are following me for those reasons, I will still sell my services to them. So you should not be ashamed of showing different parts of you. Just make sure that you are doing it in an organized way. And number two, you are doing all of them excellently. One thing I know is that people will definitely adjust. When Vicky James started, you will say, oh, this girl and this woman and Vicky James. I just love that woman because she understands how to be unapologetic. When Vicky James started shooting content about love, her husband, people were talking. Now everybody has adjusted. So you will do you because in the end, you are going to die alone. That's just the truth. So just tell yourself, what do I want to show up for? And what is the ratio to which I want to show up for? And then which gift or which skill is my roots that has branches that are connected to others. Do you understand? And then you now tell yourself, if I know that I will not show up excellently, I will not show up at all. Consistency doesn't mean that you have to show up excellently 100%, but it should not be less than 70%. And if you are able to build that calendar, it will help you to gain clarity. So over the time, you will know, okay, this one, I just want to do it for passion. This one, I want to monetize it. This one, I want to scrape it. So it's in doing that clarity would come for you. I believe I was able to, answer your question, ma'am.
Yes, you've done so well. I'll be reaching out. There are more how do I say, there are more sub questions, but that will be with a personal consultation. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
You are not
You're
seeing your
welcome.
email. Please, your contact.
Hold on. She will share the contacts. Hold on. She will share the contacts. Okay.
With you.
Yeah. I don't see any hands raised up, but as the host, I have right to take over proceedings. Right. I'm going to use my
All right.
veto power. Right. First of all, thanks to everyone who joined this session. That's one. Two, thanks to the member of the team who recommended you or referred you. That's Sister Ejiro. Honestly, when I saw your recommendation and the topic you'll be speaking on, I was so excited. Excited because one, it's a topic I'm familiar with, or it's a subject I'm familiar with. I'm a brand and products person. I do brand strategy. I'm more of a designer, but of course, most people don't know that design also comes with strategy. And I do brand design, I do brand strategy and all that. And I love everything you said. The questions you were asking, I didn't want to answer because it was for people to learn, and I wanted others to also participate and engage. While you were speaking, a lot of questions came to mind because I know it's a subject that there are divergent school of thoughts on the subject, and I love hearing divergent views. One question, number one: fake it till you make it. Does it have its downsides? Is that
is that approach to branding, because I know you said something about a brand is the gut feeling that people have about you, right? What they say about you when you're not in the room. Branding is how you shape such perceptions, right, of people about you. And it's in the little things that you do. You said positioning, presence, public speaking. There's something I dropped in the group. Look like what you say you are. In summary, fake it till you make it. Is that dangerous to building a brand or to shaping perception, to shaping the perception of that you want people to have about you? That's one. Please note them down. Two, do you think that branding is a scam? Sometime in 2017, I think, is it 2017, 2018? No, during the lockdown period, COVID period, that was when virtual sessions and all that were rampant. And I also had a session on branding, and I tagged it branding is a scam. People came for me. Why we say branding is a scam? I want to hear your own opinion, whether or not branding is a scam. And finally, it appears as if this session is for women. Only women are, in fact, majority of the people on this call are women, right? Is your offer just for women alone? Because all of them are the ones that have asked questions. They probably seem to be the one who would get the offer. This is
No,
speaking for
no.
the men in the house, even though some of us came late. Uh, yeah.
The offer
So
is not
so
for see,
that's just on a lighter note. What did you say, please?
the offer is for everyone. It's everyone who like
Okay,
attended this call, like or anybody from the group. I don't know if this call is recorded and they are going to
it's
like
recorded.
listen
Yeah,
to it again.
it's
Yeah, so
recorded. Yeah.
anyone who comes from the group in between today and 10 days and reaches out for any
Okay.
of our services, either as my personal, I have my own personal services and my business is a different entity. I have people who work with me. So we also have
Yeah.
our services. So anybody who reaches out between now and 10 days gets a 10% discount on any of our, services that we render.
Yeah. All right. So let me summarize one again, in case you've forgotten. Is faking it till you make
Is
it a wrong
branding
approach? No, no, number one.
okay?
Is faking it till you make it a wrong approach to building brand perception? Two, what are the downsides to branding, especially when you don't have substance? Three, do you think branding is a scam? Thank you.
Okay, I love these questions you asked me. I so love these questions. I always believe that you cannot give what you don't have. That is the first thing that I would say about faking it till you make it. I'm not a party to faking it till you make it. So I like to share my story all of the time, right? I did not come up from a family that was advantaged. The person who recommended me is a very very big sister to me, and she knows me from when I was very very quite little, and she could tell that I did not come from a family that was advantaged in terms of money. I was not born with a silver spoon. Yeah, but when I was growing up, there was one virtue that my dad taught me and my mom that I saw them literally do, and I also they said it to me and my siblings always is the virtue of excellence and the virtue of authenticity. Those two values are values that have helped me in life. So when it comes to fake it till you make it, I am not a party to that because you cannot sit on a bomb for long. You're definitely going to stand up and it's going to blow you up. So when I started out online, I didn't have most of the gadgets that I have. I was telling one of my mentees yesterday, I said that he was saying, "Oh, ma, I want to wait till I have all the gadgets." He's my personal videographer. And he was telling me, I want to wait till I have all the gadgets. And this, that, 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 that. When I have all the gadgets, I'll do this. I told him that you will not do nothing when you have all the gadgets. That the first thing you need to do is to start with what you have. And starting with what you have would build that discipline that is needed. Right. So when I started, I did not have a ring light like many others had. I had a torch light years back, and I was consistently putting on. I started with Facebook, and then I grew and started growing my followers to thousands, right? So I would consistently post on Facebook. People started seeing what I was doing. They started reaching out to me to invite me for conferences to speak. It started with virtual conferences. So what I used to do then, I was still living with my parents. I would now sit down in the most beautiful part of our house, right? And I would put on that torchlight. If I had that class like um next week or tomorrow, I will charge the torch light from morning till night. I will go and pay money to charge it so that it is full, and I will study like my life depended on that class to give substance that day. So when I say positioning and perception, I'm saying that there are people who are using it wrongly. They do all this perception marketing. They go to borrow car, they go to do this, they go to do that, right? And in the end, there's no substance. Why you that has the substance, you are not giving yourself the right packaging? I know they always say do not judge a book by its cover, but how many of us follows that? In as much as you you want to have substance, you don't want, I mean, as much as you want to package yourself, there should be a balance between packaging yourself and looking the part, right? There should be a balance. I'm not a preacher of go and do more than yourself. Me, I never borrowed clothes. I used to tell somebody then, there's one of my VIP clients that has a business around, he travels from one country to another. So he's a CEO, and last year he registered for my one-on-one public speaking class. And in that class, he told me that this year, Comfort, I want to reach some foreign investors to invest in my business, but I'm a very shy person and I want to be able to communicate effectively. So when we were speaking, he actually met me at an event by Charles Abuze, where I was the red carpet host at that event. And he said when I was interviewing people around, he got attracted to my dress. And then he reached out to me on Facebook, and then we registered for the class, for my VIP class, one-on-one public speaking class. And then he was saying something about, oh, that my dress will cost, he was calling one very huge amount. I just laughed. And I told him how much the dress really cost. And he was like, he cannot believe it. I said that you don't have to break a bank to look good. That's my first sermon. If you are excellent, you don't just have to be excellent with your knowledge or with your words. Your appearance should also look excellent, because that is the first thing that people would see. Nobody actually sees your heart. It is God that sees our hearts. So you have to look the part within the substance that you can, between your financial ability that you can look good. You should look good. Excellence should be in and should be out. So that is it. I'm not in the party of those who will say, oh, go and borrow and buy what you're not supposed to buy and all. No. But you cannot be saying that the opportunity that you have been waiting for years finally came, and you want you are with your jean that is not well ironed, or with your hair looking tattered. No, come on, it's not village people that will send you back. Oh, by your appearance that day, they will say that it's the wrong person that they've brought to that place. So I always say that start with what you have. For what you have is plenty. I always say it. You just need to package that little that you have, and as you begin to grow, opportunities will come for you and you would expand. That was what happened to me. I did not wait to have everything that I needed. I started with what I had. And whenever I was going for events, I was always looking good. Then I had a customer that was my Okrika, this second-handed clothes. Woman used to bring first grade second-handed clothes. Then I would look for the best from those second-handed clothes, iron it out, make my hair. Oh, and I thank God that He made me so beautiful. And I have a very beautiful smile. I will walk so enchanting and make sure that everything I want to say, I've practiced it. There's always a time in our lives when we have the wilderness part of our lives. And that wilderness part of our lives is that time that God is shaping us to be alone, to build value and virtue. That time where you begin to build depth, you begin to read a lot, study a lot. When I speak, people begin to ask me, Comfort, how do you know so much? I have passed through that wilderness time, and I was in that my waiting period. I was not playing. I was studying. I was doing a lot to build substance. So when you have built that substance, when you go out, people will judge you by how you look. There's no way I want to paint it. The Bible says we should be harmless as a dove, but wise as serpents. I think as Christians, most times we throw that second part of the serpent side away and we only hold on to the dove-like type. That is why we're always the victim of circumstances. Yes, the children of this world, they are wise. We must not be like them, but we can, see what they are doing and pick the good part from it. Somebody cannot be inviting you for a multi-million-dollar contract and you are looking like something. Go and borrow a car if you have to. If you know that you are going to get that contract and that is the last day you are going to seal it. Look, if you have a friend that can drive you there, guy, drive me there. And when you get there, you are full of substance. The reason why a lot of people, social media is draining a narrative of just substance, and that is why it has happened to me a lot. There were some persons that I looked up to on social media, and there was this particular lady. They invited me to be the keynote speaker at an event, and when I got there, she was also a speaker. So I was the last speaker as the keynote speaker. Sometimes they put you as the first or the last as a keynote speaker. And when I heard that girl speak, I couldn't reconcile her Facebook post that I had been reading with her speaking that day. She was speaking out of point. Her posture was not okay. People were almost sleeping as she was speaking. In fact, that day I was so disappointed that, look at somebody that I have been, holding in high esteem. So I would always say that as you're packaging, make sure that you're also packaging into your brain. Because one day will come that they will need you to showcase that thing that you have been saying you can do online. There has to be a balance between the two. That is what I would say. There has to be a balance. So excellence is not just in words. We've seen some people that they look like they are going nuts or crazy. The way they even dress, you'll be asking yourself, is this person okay? When they open their mouth to speak, they are speaking so much sense. But if you see them on the road, you think they are mad and you run away. Except you are bold enough or you hear them speaking, you'll be like, oh, this person is even intelligent. It's because as humans, the first thing we see is with our eyes, and our eyes build perception. So that's why I say that if you know that you are excellent or you know that you are good at what you do, you cannot allow yourself to be looking like what you are going through. I've had moments where I didn't have what to eat then. This was years back. And I had opportunity to go and speak. I dusted myself, had my bath, look for one of my best dress. That's why you need to have friends around you that can help you too, right? If you don't have, there's no way you will be so broke in life that you don't have a friend that can help you. You need to also be somebody that gives to people and you are investing in their emotional bank account. You might not have money, but you have care, you have support, you have the right words. So when you need those people's resources, they will give it to you freely because they know you will bring it back to them. You build their trust. So that is how we start. I used to tell my mentees this thing a lot. Don't wait until you have it all. Start with what you have, but show up well. Don't show up because you are drinking Gary in your house. You will not snap the Gary. That client that wanted to give you a contract of 2 million would say, no, if I give this guy 2 million, this one that is drinking Gary, he will take my money and run. And you know you will not take that money away. But you want to draw a pity party around you. No, we don't do that. I always tell my mentees that you all are kings and queens. Behave like it. Even if a king does not have what to eat in his house, he will not come out and tell you that doesn't have what to eat. He will only tell those in his inner circle. That's why kings have wise men around them. So you must have that circle of friends that are your wise men, that when things are going so, they can support you and push you up to look the part. So when you go out, you hit that deal and you change your life forever. So I'm not a party to using branding as for a wrong thing, because yes, people are now using perception marketing to sell a wrong narrative. We've seen it many times. Scammers, con artists and all, they act like what they are not. So the same way people that are excellent should show up, the same way we should also be excellent in our discernment to fish out people that your spirit is telling you that this person is just acting as if he has it up there, but he doesn't have it up there. So that you don't fall into their, you don't be a victim of circumstance, you don't fall into their trap. So I believe I've been able to answer your question. So there should be a balance between excellence and showing up like somebody who is excellent, because people will definitely judge that book by how it looks. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. Please, if you are on this call and I'm not seeing a round of applauses, your round of applause is, I don't know, you're as good as not being on this call. I know that we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. She has so much to pour out. She has so much to share. You can tell from the passion. You can tell from how she's tried to summarize responses to very deep and thought-provoking questions in such a short while. I can't believe we've spent 2 hours already. I know we are fast spent, but our guest speaker, subject matter expert, has dropped her contact. If you're on the call, you can check the chat section for a contact. Do well to get hold of it. I would also take hold of it, and then we can also share on the main platform. We can also share on the main platform. I'm not going to ask any questions anymore. Other inquiries and questions will be done after. Guest speaker, what are your social media handles? Do you also want to drop them so people can follow you? We can share as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. So on Facebook, I don't know if sending a link on this platform, I don't know if the link is going to be clickable, but I've also actually been on a sabbatical leave for now on social media, but I'm going to come
Okay.
back soon. So I'm active on Facebook, I'm active on LinkedIn. So if you check out Comfort Modi, yes,
All right.
on Facebook, on Instagram, the Comfort Modi, like my social media name is the same everywhere. On TikTok,
Yeah.
yes, on TikTok, Comfort Modi.
All right.
Okay, to
Can you
change
please spell the
the
body? How is your last name spelled?
Mordi. 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 You are muted, guest speaker. I don't know if that's intentional or it's a mistake. So you're not speaking to yourself.
Okay, I didn't know that I was muted. It's
I'm
Oh,
asking,
Comfort Modi. Yes, you see it. I'm trying to share my profile. I don't know why it's, yeah. So it's Comfort Modi on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere. It's Comfort Modi. So that's my, for those that are active on LinkedIn, I will give you the LinkedIn, because just you could send me a connection request on LinkedIn.
all right.
Is this you with Hilda Bassi? Is that your platform, Facebook, with Hilda Bassi?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
That my Facebook platform is, I took a picture with Mami Bukawo Shika, so you're going to see it there. But just send me a message. I would, if you don't get it, I'll send you the link directly. I don't know why it's getting difficult to get it out tonight. But it's Comfort
All
Modi
right.
on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, the Comfort Modi. Yeah.
All right. All right.
I want to please this one last one I just remember now, please. So because you
Okay.
mentioned that your name is the same to all the social media you are in. So for like me, I did the same thing. So but on Facebook, when people started getting to know me and the way I sing, so I see that I was facing lot of scammers, using my name and hacking into
Mm,
my Facebook. It was a serious battle for me on Facebook because many people were sending messages to me and some like getting touched with their lives and so on. So people were going into hacking into my
Oh,
Facebook. So I
yeah, it's
changed my
something that you
name.
would experience. You would
You said?
definitely experience it as a public figure. You would experience it as a public figure. So one thing that I would say you do is that you get verified on any social media platform that you are. And because you're growing your your social media presence as a public figure. Whenever
Yeah.
a new platform comes out, make sure that you are one of the first persons that open an account there, so that you get that first user advantage. Because if you don't open an account quickly, like when TikTok came out, a lot of celebrities did not quickly move to TikTok, and those fraudsters had already opened a name on TikTok with their own name, and they were taking their name pictures and videos and putting it on TikTok. So it took a while for them to be able to fight and say, this is not me on TikTok. So as much as you can get verified, if you can pay for verification, and then if you could give somebody that you trust, or you could
Yeah.
reach out, I would reach out to some of the persons that work with me to help you
Okay.
secure your Facebook. So we put two-step verification and some other things that will make it secure. And then don't click links, no matter who sent you a link on even your email. Be very careful. Somebody I
Mhm.
know had millions or thousands of followers, and somebody sent using a fake TikTok email that they created and sent her an email. She thought it was TikTok. So you have to be very careful knowing that you're a public figure. You don't click links anyhow. If it's not verified, don't click links anyhow. That is how they like are able to, hack your account and do all of those things. So the first step is verify your account if you can afford to do that. And second step is make sure you have a two-step verification and every possible way you can, you know, protect your account, and don't log into your account on different devices. Yeah, so it's going to help.
Thanks.
All right. In fact, the way the guest speaker responded, I was like, are we going to another session again? But it was necessary that she did that. Um, Once again, I, Ifeolu Ashokweju, on behalf of my team members and every other guest present in tonight's masterclass, I want to say a very big thank you to you for, first of all, agreeing to grace our stage um, with your presence, with your knowledge, with your experience. Thank you so much for preparing for this. I personally understand that we were to have you last week, but for unforeseen contingencies, you still agreed to a later date. And I'm just asking myself, what would we have missed if you had not considered us and given us a suitable time from your end? Once again, thank you very much for all that you've shared with us. We do not take it for granted. We do not take it for granted. We do not take it for granted. And to the member of the team who referred you, recommended you, I want to say a big thank you to her as well. Wow. Parting words, Mrs. Comfort Modi, before we call it a day.
Okay, I really don't have any parting words. I want to say thank you to everyone. I enjoyed the session. I love how interactive it really was. I love when people ask questions. It always helps me to pour myself out more. And I want to say that no one is too old to start showing up on social media. Social media really changed my life, right? So don't say, I don't know who this is for. That's what I've been led to say. Don't say, oh, I've been posting and I'm not been getting the, you know, the likes, the comment, the reaction that I want. It's just like somebody who is fetching water into a drum. It doesn't get full in one day, right? Or in one instant. So please be consistent, show up, try to do something. We know a lot of things that we can do to change our world. It's unfortunate that those people who are doing a lot of nonsense are the ones that are bold enough to come online with their podcast and all. We that have the right thing, we that have substance that can change lives, let's come out and start with what we have and keep on doing our best to glorify Jesus and, make the world a better place. So that's what I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. And I look forward to everyone who's going to reach out for our services. God bless you. Have a wonderful night rest.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much. In fact, let me first start throwing shade. For those of you, okay, see, we are on this call now. Look at the screen. What do you see on your screen? Do you see your name? Do you see your picture? Sister Ellen, I'm seeing love emoji. Is it love? Whatever. Okay, Barnabas has a good headshot. Who else again? Sister Mary Obayomi. Is that a quadrant circle of a quadrant this thing? Esther Patrick, you don't have your pictures, right? That's a good way to building a personal brand. And like our guest speaker has said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't go into building a brand thinking of the short-term gains, short-term. It should be long-term. Once again, thanks to everyone. Please do not forget that tomorrow we're having the event of all events. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. By this time, we'll be closing, definitely, God willing. Our heart-to-heart session with our special guest of honor. Like I said yesterday, is pumped to be in our midst, to meet with us, engage with us, and bond with us. So please do make it a day tomorrow by 8 p.m. Spread the word, and just let us know that you're going to be there, right? Styling, Stamorenike, Barnabas, Saberi, Jiro, Esther, Brawale, I don't know, he's not said anything. It's a blessing, Samson, Evelyn, Otoyi, Akim Bawale. Thanks for joining. It was a pleasure having some moments with you. On this note, I'll call it a day and have a beautiful night's rest, or